Good morning, YouTube. We're back in the kitchen with the woodcutter. You remember that comfort food you had growing up, the stuff that when you were not feeling good, maybe your grandmother or your mother used to make? Today, we've got a true Southern staple, chicken and dumplings, Southern style.
Southern style chicken and dumplings. You know what? This New Englander's never made chicken and dumplings. Today we're going to do it. Welcome back to the mountain, folks. Alright, so when you're doing chicken and dumplings, the first thing you need is a chicken. And this is one of our fresh chickens. So we're going to open it up and we're going to rinse him out really good. Once we get him out of the bag. Now we're just going to rinse this chicken out, rinse it off. So the guy you saw in that video, that's Arkansas Woodcutter. I've been following his channel for a while. There'll be a link to his channel in the description down below. You can watch, and there'll be a link to his video and to his channel. His video making chicken and dumplings. Because, like I said, I've never made chicken and dumplings before. Because I'm a New Englander. So, we have our chicken. This chicken's a little over 7 pounds. He's kind of big. Put him in the pot. We're going to fill the pot up about 3/4 of the way with water. About 3/4 of the way or so. This is going to make excellent stock for the chicken and dumplings. I guess that's about enough, huh? Does that look enough?
Looks good.
That's a big chicken. We're going to put him on the stove. And we're going to start the fire so that it gets ready to burl. Now, if you come over here, you'll look, I've got some carrots, celery, and onions at the ready. We're going to chop these carrots up a little bit more. And these are all going to go in the pot with it. Actually, I'm going to cut the celery up a little more too. Just cut these in half. And then this goes in the pot with it. Might have to add a little more water, actually. Get in there, carrot. Celery, carrots, onions. There we go. We're going to throw in 3 or 4 cloves of garlic here. Or that many. Didn't count them. So the next thing we have, we got all our spices that are going to go in there. We got some salt. We're going to put a couple tablespoons of salt, black peppercorns, oregano, basil, and some thyme. So let's get out a measuring spoon, a tablespoon or so of salt in there, maybe another half or so. See, woodcutter, I measure like you. About a teaspoon of peppercorns. Throw them in there. Some oregano. Just a little bit of flavor there. Basil. I love basil. Everybody loves basil. So we'll put a little extra basil in there. And some thyme. Thyme. Okay. Now, I'm going to add one more ingredient. Because I am a New Englander, we're going to add a little bit of Bell's poultry seasoning in there. Just a little bit. We're going to kind of mix that all in there, just get it all wet. Get them veggies down in there. I don't even know if we need to do that because it'll start bubbling soon. This is all going to bubble up. So, that's going to come to a burl. And when it does, then we're going to have to simmer this for like 4 or 5 hours. Once again, I've never done chicken and dumplings. So this ought to be pretty interesting. We'll be back later. There it is, just a nice slow simmer. We're going to leave it there for a good 4 or 5 hours, and then we're going to check it, just like the woodcutter does. Now that we've been burling for about 4 hours, everything just... I think that's ready. Oh yeah, that's ready. What do you think, Joey?
Looks great.
All right, so now we're going to go ahead and take that off the stove, and we're going to strain everything. All right, let's take that off the stove. We'll bring it over here. Now I'm going to take everything out of here and put it in my strainer, including that big old bird. Holy crap, look at that. The leg just came right off it. I think it's ready.
I think so.
Oh, God. It just falls apart. Woo-wee. We're taking all the veggies and everything right out of this broth. Oh, I wish you could smell this. What do you think?
It's incredible.
It just smells great. Oh, thank you, Woodcutter. You know, he calls himself Woodcutter. I've never seen him cut. I'm the one with the sawmill. Huh.
What say you?
Come on, Mark. Why are you the woodcutter? That just looks good. Save the neck for me, Clark. All right, so we're going to have to strain this out too. Get all them nasty chicken chunks out of it. So we're going to use a smaller strainer for that. So this is going to have to cool because we're going to have to pick this chicken. Pick your chicken. But look at this broth. This is amazing. Look at this. Oh, nice chicken broth. Nice, full of all the fat. You know what? I do have to try one thing though real quick here. I'm going to have to just take a piece of this chicken and try it. Wow. That's good chicken. Joey likes the dark meat, so I'm going to give her a piece of that. Careful, it's hot, honey. How's that?
Perfection.
Isn't that good? Oh, we're going to have good chicken and dumplings. Hey, Joey, question for you.
What's that?
What has 5 toes and is not your foot?
I do not know.
My foot.
Oh, dear Lord.
All right, so we're going to let this cool. All right, so we just want to show you really quick us picking the chicken. So we dumped everything in here, and I mean, everything, it's just falling apart. And we're just picking it apart, leaving all the gunk, the stuff you don't want. And we're throwing it in the bowl right there. And let me tell you, this just smells awesome. It tastes awesome. To show you how tender it is, look at this leg. Ready? Boom. Look at that. That's how tender this meat is. It's unbelievable. And it's oh so good. So I'm going to continue picking the chicken, and then we'll get to the dumplings. Okay, so now we're going to make Grandma Smith's dumplings. Arkansas Woodcutter, this is from his grandma's recipe. I've never made a dumpling in my life. I'm doing the double batch just like he did in his video, so I got 4 cups of flour in here. I am going to be adding the baking soda, or sorry, baking powder and the salt. So there's 1, 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Now her recipe calls for a dash of salt. Technically a dash of salt is 1/8 of a teaspoon, in case you didn't know that. So I'm going to put roughly 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. There we go. A little too much in there. All right, now it's 8 tablespoons of shortening, which, if you didn't know, is half a cup. 8 tablespoons is half a cup. And And that is about half a cup. Okay. Well, that's why he used a tablespoon. All right, so there we go. There's our shortening. Now the only thing we need some of the broth. We need a cup of broth and a cup of milk. So I'm gonna come over here and get a cup of the broth. Before I do that, I'm gonna make a little well in the flour here to put it in. There's a cup of broth. And now I'm going to get me a cup of milk. I did not mix them together to temp them, so I don't know what's going to happen here. I may have just messed up. I doubt it. And now we're just going to mix all that together. I don't have a pastry knife. I have a fork. And the other way to do it, you can just cut it all together. With a couple butter knives, just kind of cut it all together like that. That works too. I remember watching my mother do this to make biscuits years ago. All right, now. I'm gonna roll that out. I love listening on the Woodcutters video, just the way he talked about this. When you put this out, you just roll it out. Make it about a finger thick. And because like he said, you got to think back to the days when this stuff was invented. You know, they just, yeah, that's about thick enough there. So that's what we're going to do. Check my broth. It's not boiling yet, but it's getting close. All right. So that's about a finger thick. And we're going to take a sharp knife and we're going to cut it into about inch-long strips. And those is our dumplings. There's my dog. That was Molly.
She heard something.
Who knows what she's barking at? A couple days ago, I was out front working and she was upstairs barking. I look out the window. She wasn't looking at me. I thought she was barking at me, but she wasn't. And I looked out, and out in the front yard, there was a doe. A deer. A female deer. Actually, that's a true story. There really was a deer there.
Really was.
So, about a month and a half from now, hunting season starts. Hopefully that doe sticks around. See that? That's a freezer. That's where the doe will be. We call that freezer camp. All right, so I got all these nice dumplings here. And we're gonna put them, once that stock starts boiling again, we're gonna put them in there. Those are our dumplings. What do you think, Mark? How do they look? Oh, look at that. We're bubbling away. So, we're going to go ahead and drop these in. Careful not to burn. I like the fact that the dumplings are made with the broth. All right, there's all our dumplings. Now we're supposed to let them boil for about 15 minutes. And then you put the chicken in for the last 5 minutes or so. So we'll be back when we put the chicken in. All right, folks, so now it's time to put the chicken in. we only took the white meat out. I personally, I don't really care for dark meat, so we set that aside. Joey's gonna make chicken salad for herself for that, with that. Now we're gonna put the chicken in. And this is, just so you know, we did strain the broth before we put the dumplings in. So now I'm just gonna put the chicken in. Oh, this lovely, I'm putting it all in too. Oh yeah, look at that. And let me tell you, this stuff, this chicken tastes amazing. You wouldn't think so, it's pretty much just boiled chicken, but it just tastes amazing. I think it's the Bell seasoning. It just adds a little New England flair to the southern staple. So, there we go. Bell's poultry seasoning, basically it's all the other seasonings added together.
Plus a couple of extra.
Plus a couple extras, so I just added that. Look at this, it's thickening, it's nice. I did put the carrots and the celery back in. I mean, this just looks amazing. So we're gonna let that boil for another 4 or 5 minutes, and then we're gonna eat chicken and dumplings for the first time. I personally have never had chicken and dumplings. Have you, Joey?
I have not.
So this is gonna be a first for us. Chicken and dumplings in this northern New England home. Can't wait. It's done. So let's go ahead and scoop some into some bowls here. Oh, it looks and smells so good. One bowl. And 2 bowls. There we go. We'll set them down over here and we're gonna try this out. All right, folks, we're trying chicken and dumplings for the first time. What do you think there, New England lady?
We're having this again.
Oh yeah, this is tasty. Mine just needs a little bit of pepper for me. It's probably perfect for you.
It's perfect. The chicken flavor is just
Throughout everything.
bold.
It's just so good. The dumplings are good, the chicken, everything. Oh, man.
Mark, thank you.
I can't wait. I can't even let it cool down.
It's perfect.
That is so good.
This is definitely a great winter night meal.
Yes. So, that's it, folks. That's our chicken and dumpling video. Once again, I got this from Arkansas Woodcutter. Great channel. There'll be a link to his channel and to his video for making chicken and dumplings down below. We will be making this again.
Oh, yes.
And again and again. This is just so good. So, from the mountain, don't forget, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to Arkansas Woodcutters channel,
Give us all a like.
and hit the notification bell. Both channels if you want, even if you don't want. Just do it anyway so you know when we have videos. And as always, from the mountain.
God bless.